Can I ask you a question based on car shampoos too for both of
Yeah.
you? So we have a problem here. We always, even when it foams, we say snow foam because we're American. So can you tell us the difference between a snow foam in Europe or UK versus what
So
we in a car
snow
shampoo is?
foams, yeah. So snow foams in Europe are pre-washes.
So hot
So
alkaline pre-washes breaks her down.
yeah, the high alkaline or stuff is more of a recent trend. So we can go back in the 2000s. pH neutral was the thing. The reason
Yeah.
why pH neutral was the thing was that the availability and the knowledge and the chemistry side of things in terms of car care products wasn't as good as it is now. So now we have multiple different suppliers offering hundreds of different surfactants and chemistries out there where you can tailor your products to do whatever. 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. So you obviously still had a lot of surfactants available, but they weren't as sophisticated or as refined as they are now. So your higher alkaline products were a lot more caustic because the companies, and I guess their philosophy at the time, wasn't as sophisticated as it is now in terms of safety, right? So a company would just want a pre-wash. They'll just load it up with sodium hydroxide.
Yeah.
And away
Just
you go.
crazy
Yeah, how
caustic.
great it is, right? And they didn't care whether it rusted anything, right?
Yeah,
Prevent
now they do,
spills.
right?
Now they do, exactly. So there's been a massive sea change in pH neutral products and high alkaline products, and as the chemistry and the availability of certain surfactants and additives and solvents and different alkenes, alkynes, and all that sort of stuff has become available, the chemistry has improved massively.
Yep.
Now, the trap that the industry fell into is that in their effort to make everything as user easy as possible, that negatively impacted the product performance because they're trying to make something easy for everyone to use to sell volume.
Yep.
The problem with that is that you then the detailing companies stop creating great products. And that's, I guess this is another big topic for another day in terms of why.
No, but this is good because I want people to understand if you get car shampoo, it foams amazing. In a bucket, amazing. If you use it in a foam cannon, because that's what people here, right? Use shampoos and they want to foam everything, right? They don't differentiate. I always use it in a bucket, but 1 or 2 ounces, you'll get a great foam. But they were like, well, it's not foaming like snow foam. No, duh. It's not foaming like snow foam. That's not the intent of it, right? Would you agree with that? Like your goal isn't to make all your products.
Yeah. So the way that you guys wash it in America is different to the way that we wash in Europe, right? One of the reasons for that is the size of your country and the different climates you have all over America, right? And two, your product lineups that are available to you, and the philosophies that the various detailing companies pushed upon the consumers, the detailers, etc., and the way that they trained them. You went into that that process that Johnny was talking about, whereby you would foam your soap onto the car and you would wash it. And because you guys have done that for a very long time, that shape, the way that you guys view detailing is now completely different to the way that we've been detailing certainly in the UK and in Europe for the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
So
you guys are built different.
Yeah. Now, snow foam, I'm really trying to remember now. Going back a long time, but I remember snow foam being introduced in 2000 and I think it was like 2006, 2007 here in the UK that it really came a thing. But it was always deemed as a pre-wash for us to get rid of the road salt and traffic film. It was never deemed as a you spray it on, you foam it on, and then you wash with it. Now, to answer your question more specifically, Eddie, because I know I'm rambling on a little bit here, the reason why snow foams and soaps are different is because the surfactants that you would use in a shampoo is vastly different to the ones that you would use in a snow foam. The emulsion that you create when you're creating a shampoo, you've got things to consider like slickness, which you don't have to consider with a snow foam. With a snow foam, you have to consider how much it foams as a primary function, right? And then what surfactants and the emulsion that you make to make that foam stable, and then what types of surfactants you would need to contact in a non contact fashion, emulsify, degrease, and allow the dirt to wash off the car. Now, oh God, this is like turning into a little history lesson. Now, in the early days with snow foams, it was about encapsulating the dirt and making that foam run down the car and drag off the grip. That sounds all nice and great, but the reality is that function will happen whether you've got a strong detergent or a weak detergent, because there's going to be loose contaminants on the surface and it's going to get encapsulated by the detergent and run off with it anyway. As snow foams developed, they started looking at degreasing capabilities of the snow foams, and then now in more recent times with more plant-based surfactants and stuff like that, you start looking at the static cling between dirt molecules and how delimonene and acts as a solvent on the dirt and melts it as opposed to emulsifies it, and blah 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 blah. There's lots of different factors. So there's two main things. Snow foams typically come in a higher concentration than car shampoos. And there's again, there's technical reasons for that, which I won't go into this podcast. And there's different considerations. So in summary, snow foam, you're looking at foam stability, its degreasing capability, right? And with a car shampoo, you're looking at how its emulsion, i.e. the slickness, right? And then
rinse off,
exactly. Like anionic, cationic surfactants, do they stay on the surface?
When they dry up, do they reactivate? Because look,
exactly,
you don't want to murk your car with the snow foam, let it dry.
Yeah, precisely, right? How does it react in colder climates? How does it react in warmer climates? Does it actually clean? A lot of shampoos don't clean very well. Our shampoo does clean very well. You can test that for yourselves. Aside from cleaning the car, just wash your dishes with a couple of mil of car shampoo and see how well it does.
And he said a couple mil, because remember, in the bucket you use 10 to 15 mils for 5 gallons.
Correct.
So
especially in the States, that's going to foam like mad because you've got better quality water.